Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Shri Mayapur Dhamma Ki Jai, Jamuna Maya Ki Jai, Ganga Maya Ki Jai, Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Grantat Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan Yogya Ki Jai, Riha Mridanga Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Transcendental Krishna Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga.
Thank you so much. Okay. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Tama Krishna Goswami Dinamini. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Radhavija Swami Dinamini. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Dinamini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskata Deshatarine. So we're reading today from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 8, and we stopped on text 100. That's what I remember. Somehow we lost the marker, but that's okay. Was it 200? And we got all the way to 200? I knew it was either 100 or somewhere around there, right? So let me check. Jaishnav, you might be right. Let's see. Yeah, I think you're right. Sorry, I thought it was 100, but it's actually 200. Yeah, here we go. Yep. No, I recognize it now. Okay, text 200. Mora mukhe vakta tumi ahosrata adyanta rahasya suna sadhanirhakata. Translation. Actually, and this is Ramananda Roy speaking with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, you're speaking through my mouth, and at the same time, you're listening. This is very mysterious. Anyway, kindly hear the explanation by which the goal can be attained. Purport. Srila Prabhupada. Srila Sanatana Goswami has advised us to hear about Krishna from a Vaishnava. He has explicitly forbidden us to hear from an Avaishnava. Avaishnava mukha gimam potam hari katamritam shravanam naiva kartavyam sapochistam yatapayam. Thus, quoting from Padma Purana, Srila Sanatana Goswami warns that one should not hear anything about Krishna from an Avaishnava, however great a mundane scholar he may be. Milk touched by the lips of a serpent has poisonous effects. Similarly, talks about Krishna given by an Avaishnava are also poisonous. However, because a Vaishnava is surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his talks are spiritually potent. In Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam didami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. This is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse 10. When a pure Vaishnava speaks, he speaks perfectly. How is this? His speech is managed by Krishna himself from within the heart. Srila Ramananda Roy accepts this benediction from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, he admits that whatever he was speaking was not derived from his own intelligence. Rather, everything was coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, according to Bhagavad Gita. Sarvasya chaham riti sanivisto Mata Shrintir Gyanam Aponam Cha Vedascha Sarvera Hameva Vedyo Vedanta Kripeda Videva Cham. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. This is Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, text 15. All intelligence emanates from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supersoul within the heart of everyone. Non-devotees want to ask the Supreme Lord for sense gratification. Therefore, non-devotees come under the influence of Maya, the illusory energy. A devotee, however, is directed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and comes under the influence of Yoga Maya. Consequently, there is a gulf of difference between statements made by a devotee and those made by a non-devotee. Radha Krishna Lila Ati Gudhatara Dasya Vatsalya De Bhave Nahai Gochara. The pastimes of Radha and Krishna are very confidential. They cannot be understood through the mellows of servitude, fraternity, or paternal affection. Shabe eka saki ganera ihanatikara saki hate hayal e lilara vishtara. Actually, only the gopis have the right to appreciate these transcendental pastimes, and only from them can these pastimes be expanded. Saki vina e lila pushta nahi haya Saki lila vishtariya Saki ashvadaya. Without the gopis, these pastimes between Radha and Krishna cannot be nourished. Only by their cooperation are such pastimes broadcast. It is their business to taste the mellows. Saki vina elilaya anyarana higati Saki bhave ye tanre kare anugati Radha Krishna kunje shiva sadhya se paya se satya paite ara nakila hupaya. Without the help of the gopis, one cannot enter into these pastimes. Only he who worships the Lord in the ecstasy of the gopis, following in their footsteps, can engage in the service of Shri Shri Radha Krishna in the bushes of Vrindavan. Only then can one understand the conjugal love between Radha and Krishna. There is no other procedure for understanding. Purport. And this is a pretty long purport. Do we have the mic? Okay. Would anybody like to start reading the purport?
The means for returning home, for going back to Godhead, is devotional service. But everybody has a different taste in this Lord service. One may be inclined to serve the Lord in servitude, dasya rasa, fraternity, sakya rasa, or paternal love, parental love, vatsalya rasa. But none of these can enable one to enter into the service of the Lord in conjugal love. To attain such service, one has to follow the footsteps in the ecstasy of Saki Bhava.
And the footsteps of the gopis in the ecstasy of Saki Bhava. Try not to skip the words, okay? You're reading very well, but you're skipping a few words, okay?
Then only can one understand the transcendental mellow of conjugal love.
In the Ujjvala Nilamani, Srila Rupa Goswami advises, Prema Lila Viharanam Samya Vistarika Saki Vishramba Ratna Peticha. One who expands the conjugal love of Krishna and his enjoyment among the gopis is called a Saki. Such a person is a confidential gopi in the conjugal affairs. Such assistants are like jewels in the form of Krishna's confidence. The actual business of the Sakis is described thus in Ujjvala Nilamani. Okay, and we don't have Mother Anuradha here, but does anybody want to try to read the Bengali? Okay, go ahead.
Mita prema gunot kirtistayora shakti karita abhasaro dvayoreva sakya krishna samarpanam. I don't know if
It's kind of like an up and down.
sounds like a different meter. Do you know the meter?
Mita prema guna kirtis taya shakti karita. I don't know the meter.
Let me try. Narmasvashana nepatyam hridayod katapatavam chidra samvrittiretasya patya eda parivanchana shiksha sangamanam kale sevanam vyajanadibi tayor dvayor upalambha sandesha preshanam tata Naika prana samraksha prayatnadya saki kriya.
Good. That was good. Premamrita. Would you like to go ahead and start the purport to that?
In the conjugal pastimes of Krishna, Krishna is the hero, Nayaka, and Radhika is the heroine, Nayika. The first business of the gopis is to chant the glories of both the hero and the heroine. Their second business is to gradually create a situation in which the hero may be attracted to the heroine and vice versa. Their third business is to induce both of them to approach each other. Their fourth business is to surrender unto Krishna. The fifth is to create a jovial atmosphere. The sixth, to give them assurance to enjoy their pastimes. The seventh, to dress and decorate both hero and heroine. The eighth, to show expertise in expressing their desires. The ninth, to conceal the faults of the heroine. The 10th, to cheat their respective husbands and relatives. The 11th, to educate. The 12th, to enable both the hero and the heroine to meet at the proper time. The 13th, to fan the hero and the heroine. The 14th, to sometimes reproach the hero and heroine. The 15th, to set conversations in motion. And the 16th, to protect the heroine by various means.
Tulsi Saki, would you read? We're on Madhya Lila chapter 8, text 206.
Some materialistic sahajiyas who cannot actually understand the pastimes of Radha and Krishna manufacture their own lifestyles without referring to authority. Such sahajiyas are called Sakhi Bhekta.
Becky.
Sakhi Bheki. And sometimes they are called Gora Nagari. They believe that the material body, which is fit to be eaten by jackals and dogs, is enjoyable for Krishna. Consequently, they artificially decorate the material body to attract Krishna, thinking themselves Sakhis. But Krishna is never attracted by the artificial grooming of the material body. As far as Srimati Radharani and her gopis are concerned, their bodies, homes, dresses, ornaments, endeavors, and activities are all spiritual. All of these are meant to satisfy the spiritual senses of Krishna. Indeed, they are so pleasing and endearing to Krishna that he is subjugated by the influence of Srimati Radharani and her friends. They have nothing to do with anything mundane within the 14 planetary systems of the universe. Although Krishna is attractive to everyone, he is nonetheless attracted by the gopis and Srimati Radharani.
Krishnapriya, you want to read the last paragraph? Oh, you don't have it. Okay.
One should not be misled by mental concoctions, supposing his material body to be perfect and deeming oneself a Saki. This is something like ahangrahopasana, that is, a Mayavadi's worship of his own body as the supreme. Srila Jiva Goswami has cautioned mundaners to abstain from such conceptions. He also warns that thinking oneself one of the associates of the Supreme without following in the footsteps of the gopis is as offensive as thinking oneself the Supreme. Such thinking is aparada. One has to practice living in Vrindavan by hearing about the talks of the gopis with Krishna. However, one should not consider himself a gopi, for this is offensive.
Nice. Thank you. Any discussion on that? Anybody have any? Okay, let's continue. Okay. Pramamrita, do you think text 206 is the same type of meter? Vibhura api sukha nipasapaka Vibhura api sukha rupasapaka so pibhava, like the six Goswamis. Krishnam api nahi radha krishnayor rite swaha pravati rasa pushtim chit vibhutir vesha shayati napadamasam kasakinam rasagya. The pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna are self-effulgent. They are happiness personified, unlimited and all-powerful. Even so, the spiritual humors of such pastimes are never complete without the gopis, the Lord's personal friends. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is never complete without his spiritual potencies. Therefore, unless one takes shelter of the gopis, one cannot enter into the company of Radha and Krishna. Who can be interested in their spiritual pastimes without taking their shelter? This is a quotation from Govinda Lilamrita 10:17. For this purport and the last, the overall overarching instruction is that we don't approach Krishna directly. That's why we have the spiritual master and the association of the devotees, and the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Bhagavad Gita, because basically we are approaching Krishna through their lotus feet. Just like we sing the lotus feet of the spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. So who is the spiritual master? Really, it's if you become truly Krishna conscious, you'll see everyone as your guru. You'll see every person as your master, because all of them represent Krishna, all of the devotees. What to speak of the guru directly. So that's what I'm hearing. Any other points? Okay. Sakyura sabhava eka akatya katana Krishna saha nija lilaya nahi sakyura mana. There is an inexplicable fact about the natural inclination of the gopis. The gopis never want to enjoy themselves with Krishna personally. Krishna saha radhikara lila ye karaya nijasukha aite tate kota sukha paya. The happiness of the gopis increases 10 million times when they serve to engage Shri Radha and Krishna in their transcendental pastimes. Radharasa Rupa Krishna Prema Ka Lata Sakigana Hayatara Palava Pushpapaya Pata. Is that right? Okay. Sakiguna Hayatara Palava Pushpapata. By nature, Srimati Radharani is just like a creeper of love of Godhead, and the gopis are the twigs, flowers, and leaves of that creeper. Anybody who wants to read Bengali, jump in. The text 210. You have the mic. Ramrita, you want to start?
Krishna lila mritaya dilata ke sinchaya nijasuka hoite palavader koti suka hoya.
Go ahead. Read the translation.
When the nectar of Krishna's pastimes is sprinkled on that creeper, the happiness derived from the twigs, flowers, and leaves is 10 million times greater than that derived by the creeper itself.
Nice. You want to go on? Read the purport?
In his Amrita Pravaha Bhasya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur states, Srimati Radharani is the creeper of love of Godhead, and the gopis are exactly like twigs, flowers, and leaves. When water is sprinkled on the creeper, the twigs, flowers, and leaves indirectly receive all the benefits of the creeper itself. But water sprinkled directly on the twigs, leaves, and flowers is not as effective as water sprinkled on the creeper's root. The gopis are not as pleased when they directly mix with Krishna as when they serve to unite Srimati Radharani with Krishna. Their transcendental pleasure lies in uniting them.
Nice. Okay, and here comes another one.
Can I?
You want to try?
I want to.
Go, please.
I just remembered that when we chant japa, when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this can be a meditation. Like by saying the names Hare and Krishna together, we're bringing them together.
Nice. Nice. There's also one devotee, I heard one translation, Hare Krishna is them together. And then Krishna, Krishna, Hare, Hare is when they're in separation. And then Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it's joining and separating, and joining and separating, and joining and separating. So it's that constant ecstasy of, and then in the advanced stage, they are feeling even more pleasure apart than they are together. So it's inexplicable, right? You want to try that? Do you see the meter? Shakya Siradikaya Rajakamuda Vidor Ladina Namashakte Saram Saprema Paya Ishilaya Dala Pushpadi Tuya Swatuya. I think Sudhir Krishna Prabhu could read this. Try.
Shakya Shri Radhikaya Vraja Komoda Vidhur Ladini Nama Shakti Saram Saprema Valya Kishalaya Dala Pushpadi Tulya Svatulya Iktayam Krishna Lila Mritarasa Nichayar Ulasantyam Amusyam Jatola Saswasachat Jatola Saswasechat Jatagunam Adikam Shantiyat Tanna Chitra.
Excellent. Really good effort. Very good. Better than anything I could have done. Okay. Translation. All the gopis, the personal friends of Srimati Radharani, are equal to her. Krishna is pleasing to the inhabitants of Brajabhumi, just as the moon is pleasing to the lotus flower. His pleasure-giving potency is known as Aladini, of which the active principle is Srimati Radharani. She is compared to a creeper with newly grown flowers and leaves. When the nectar of Krishna's pastimes is sprinkled on Srimati Radharani, all her friends, the gopis, immediately appreciate the pleasure 100 times more than if they were sprinkled themselves. Actually, this is not at all wonderful. This verse is also from Govinda Lilamrita 10:16. This is so beautiful. Krishna is pleasing to the inhabitants of Rajabhumi just as the moon is pleasing to the lotus flower. All the gopis, are equal to her. All the gopis, personal friends of Srimati Radharani, are equal to her. Krishna is pleasing to the inhabitants of Rajabhumi, just as the moon is pleasing to the lotus flower. His pleasure-giving potency is known as Haladini, of which the active principle is Srimati Radharani. She is compared to a creeper with newly grown flowers and leaves. When the nectar of Krishna's pastimes is sprinkled on Srimati Radharani, all her friends, the gopis, immediately appreciate the pleasure 100 times more than if they were sprinkled themselves. Actually, this is not at all wonderful. Nice. Maybe you've heard some pastimes where Srimati Radharani gets angry when another gopi is with Krishna. Has anyone heard those? I have. But I also understood why she's angry. Is she jealous? No. Her jealousy is not that. She knows that only she can give Krishna the topmost pleasure. That's why she becomes angry, because she wants to give him the highest pleasure every moment. And so her anger is not because they were with him, not at all. It's because that she, being with him, would have given him the topmost pleasure. That's all. It has nothing to do with mundane jealousy or envy or anything like that. So it's incredible. Way over my pay grade. Okay. Yadyapi sakira Krishna sangame nahi mana tatapi radhika yatne karana sangama. I can handle that meter. Although the gopis, Srimati Radharani's friends, do not desire to enjoy themselves directly with Krishna, Srimati Radharani makes a great endeavor to induce Krishna to enjoy himself with the gopis. Okay. Nana chale Krishna preri sangama karaya atma Krishna sange hate koti sukkapaya. Presenting various pleas for the gopis, Srimati Radharani sometimes sends the gopis to Krishna just to enable them to associate with him directly. At such times, she enjoys a happiness 10 million times greater than that enjoyed by direct association. Amazing. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to share a pastime in this, not the whole pastime, I don't know, like
Sure.
I heard it from Indradyumna Maharaj on one of his lectures that he gives. It was a pastime where, in Vrindavan, they have those swings, and the swing can manifest like a lotus flower and have as many petals. Anyway, so Radharani, she would sit Krishna down, and she would sit a gopi on one side, and then she would sit on his other side. And then I remember him saying, last minute she would get up and sit another gopi down there because she would trick Krishna. And she would have another gopi sit there, and then she would swing all the gopis with Krishna. And like she would have all the gopis come and take turns swinging with Krishna, and she would personally swing them. She gets so much pleasure from.
That's a fact. Yeah, and it's amazing that this translation, she enjoys the happiness 10 million times greater than that enjoyed by direct association. And here, the happiness derived by the twigs, flowers, and leaves is 10 million times greater. So it's like 10 million is a really good number here. That's beyond perception, way beyond. That's great. There's so many pastimes. Oh my gosh. I guess my favorite one is when Srimati Radharani was trying to reach some fruit, and the gopis were trying to bring the branch down. And Krishna came and he brought the branch down so she could grab the fruit. And so what does he do? She grabs the fruit and he lets go of the branch. And she's hanging up there on the tree, crying for Krishna to get her. Anyway, that's Krishna. That's Srimati Radharani. They're so funny. Their sense of humor is beyond conception. Mine, anyway. Does anybody want to read? This is text 214. You want to share? Saki, you want to read? Come on.
Aniyone vishuddha prema kare rasa pushta tan sabara prema dekhi Krishna haya tushta.
Go ahead and read the translation, in the
The-
purport.
The transcendental mellow is nourished by that mutual behavior in transcendental love of Godhead. When Lord Krishna sees how the gopis have developed pure love for him, he becomes very satisfied. Purport. Srimati Radharani and the gopis are not interested in their personal happiness derived from association with Krishna. Rather, they become happy by seeing one another associate with Krishna. In this way, their dealings are further nourished by love of Godhead, and seeing this, Krishna is very pleased.
Nice. Just like that famous interview with Srila Prabhupada with the book distributors and the temple devotees, and Srila Prabhupada, what pleases you the most? And the book, of course, the book distributors were expecting that he would say, when you distribute my books. But what did he say? When you learn to love Krishna. That's pleases Srila Prabhupada. Nice. Sahaja gopira prema nahi prakrita kama kama krita samyatara kai kama nama. Translation. It is to be noted that the natural characteristic of the gopis is to love the Supreme Lord. Their lusty desire is not to be compared with material lust. Nonetheless, because their desire sometimes appears to resemble material lust, their transcendental love for Krishna is sometimes described as lust. Purport. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that material lust should never be attributed to Krishna, who's full of transcendental knowledge. Material lust cannot be engaged in the service of the Lord, for it is applicable to materialists, not to Krishna. Only prema, or love of Godhead, is applicable for the satisfaction of Krishna. Prema is full service rendered unto the Lord. The lusty affairs of the gopis actually constitute the topmost love of Godhead, because the gopis never act for their own personal satisfaction. They are simply pleased by engaging other gopis in the service of the Lord. The gopis derive more transcendental pleasure from indirectly engaging other gopis in the service of Krishna than from engaging in a service themselves. That is the difference between material lust and love of Godhead. Lust applies to the material world, and love of Godhead applies only to Krishna. All right, it is 8:16, and we'll open the floor, and we're ending on Vaishnav. We're ending on 2:17. Nope, 2:16. Just so you know, 2:16 is where we're stopping. Does anybody want to discuss or elaborate? It's pretty, I mean, you know, I know there are devotees that are constantly pushing others forward to serve and to do. No, no, you do. It's better if you do. You do this. Just like I walk in the door and they say, "Oh, Kunti, you can give class." Well, no, I mean, it's easy. We're just reading, you know. It's not really, you know, me pontificating here. It's Srila Prabhupada. He is the teacher. He's giving us all the knowledge. And we're just trying to understand. But I do know that material lust makes me miserable. And believe me, I got plenty of it. You know, anybody wants any, let me know. I'll give you a loan. But no interest. No interest rate. I have plenty of that. But I do know that I have had glimpses of spiritual lust where I'm just, you know, I'll go to the flower store and I really want those flowers for the altar. This is so perfect, and I'm just really focused on getting those, and I'm hoping the price isn't too crazy, and or different things. You go to the fabric store and you find a fabric it's perfect for an outfit for the deities, and you're lusty to get that. But there's so many examples. And then I know that I experience so much happiness thinking about that this will give pleasure to Guru and Krishna. Whatever little service, go to the book room. You hope that they've got plenty of Easy Journey to Other Planets or these really good books that are so nice to distribute. All of them are, but some of them are easier than others. A big hardbound Bhagavad Gita, that's nice. I'd like to get some of those too, but I see Chakri Prabhu and Mother Vishnu Priya, they're distributing all sorts of books. They don't discriminate. I have my favorites, but they don't. they use all of them. So, yeah. Does anybody want to talk about whenever they've had material lust versus spiritual lust? Do you have any examples? Yeah. Shamrita.
Hare Krishna.
Premamrita.
I mean, just as a kind of silly example, I was walking around. So I like to, girls, they like to sometimes put maha flowers in their hair. Yeah, it's really pretty. So I was walking around, walking around the road, and I saw this bush with these pretty flowers. And my first thought, sadly, was, oh, that would look really cute in my hair. And so then my second thought, luckily, thankfully, was I need to offer that to the deities. And then I was thinking, not so that I can put it in my hair, but so that I can purify this desire to put it in my hair.
Nice.
And then even after offering it to the deities, the next day, I did take the flower and I was like, oh, now I can put it in my hair. So, but it also had the effect of purifying that desire, and that the next time I saw that bush, my first thought was, let me offer this to the deities, not I want to put that in my hair. Nice. So it's just subtle ways like that, by offering these things to the deities, things that we like, then it makes it so that our first thought is no longer, what do I like, but let me offer this to Krishna, and then maybe I'll enjoy it after, or maybe, whatever. Nice. Yeah, it's such silly little thing.
No, it's a perfect example. It's a small example is really perfect. That's really good. Yeah, that spells it out just perfectly. Jaishnav, do you know the difference between material and spiritual? When you want something for Krishna and want something for yourself, do you know the difference? Not yet. You will. You will. Naina, you know? He's just shy, yeah. He's shy. Yeah. It's a good quality. Hema, you have an example? Material lust versus spiritual lust?
I really do not know the difference of material and spiritual. I feel both are same. If we just change our vision from what is to what Krishna is, everything changes, a shift changes, but I think I am in material most of the time.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's very humble. Okay. I'll see. You got anything?
Yeah, I mean, like that, material modes all the time. But you also mentioned how
Mike? No, just hold it to your mouth.
through guru. So every time, if okay, with to my guru, would my guru appreciate my mood,
Nice.
and then it just autocorrects.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you. Okay. All right. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Thank you for being here. Those online and here. Hari Bol.
I was getting confused. Like, should I focus? We're all meant to inspire. We're not even meant to inspire for something about it. We're meant to inspire for that's only. Like that's it. So in the mind,